Hello everyone. Today I'd like to talk about the latest and nicest deck ever made by Sony. It's a 2-well deck, it's the latest generation, it's the last one ever manufactured, designed and released by Sony. It has most sophisticated CPU, it has lots of features which you cannot see combined in one single deck in any other model. It has 2 wells. Each well it has 3 motors, and has separate control motors for each deck. So you see it has mechanized doors, and if you will install Sony tape into it, it will appreciate it a lot. What else? It has a very sophisticated remote control with lots of buttons to control over all these features. And considering the rest of the features, the additional set is remote level control, remote automatic level set, and fader. Everything else was met in the previous models. And automatic level control, as you see, I'm currently tuning it down. Volume, it's the only feature of this deck, even the same deck which has been released to the foreign markets. Under the model WA9 has no this feature, and remote level control was not possible there. So this is Japanese model market, and this is the only model which has all the features they ever did. So regular features: fast forward playback, reverse playback, pause, stop, fast forward, reverse. Everything works pretty well on this deck because it's a 3-motor model, and the noise level from this tape transport is pretty minimal. It has very good wow and flutter levels for non-direct drive models. Same features are available on the right deck, and it's full set, just a different set of the controls, and this placing records pretty nice as well. What else I can tell you? You see, this exact item I got from Japan is in very good shape. It's almost brand new, right? Well, head is new completely. It wasn't used, and left head was used just a little bit. And I was the first serviceman ever opening this deck. And it was a pleasure to work on it deck because as soon as I lubricated everything, it started perform pretty well. I did 2 upgrades for this deck. The first upgrade, I installed the frequency response adjustment pot to make it to the level like my other high-end decks perform, and I was successful in it. So I was able to compensate a drop up to 14 kilohertz, so it works pretty nice and sound really well. Then I installed the first replacement of the capacitors, and I installed Nichicon Muse and Fine Gold, and it did improve sound significantly, but still was a little bit compressed, not enough bass comparing to the high-end models. And all in all, sound was not at the level I would love to have. Then I did received new op-amps, which I installed only into Sony K555ES latest generations models and Sony KS7. I tried those, and I would tell that it was successful, but the noise level was higher than with regular bipolar amplifiers, so I replaced it back. I tried a couple models of the bipolar amps and didn't find any significant difference in the sound. And then I started experimenting. The first thing, I replaced capacitors on the output of the playback amplifier. I changed it 3.3 microfarad with 10 microfarad, and it's immediately improved sound. it became much more wide and open, but still I was trying to experiment. So if you would see my other videos, I made one well replaced capacitors and other not replaced, and they were sound pretty different. And then I decided to replace all capacitors on the sound pass from 4.7 microfarad to 10 microfarad, and it did the job. The sound is opened. It has now a very good bass like any high-end deck I have. The only difference is between the resolution. This is 2 head deck, plus the schematic is a little bit simplified comparing to the high-end Sonys. It has a coil to remove bias from the sound on the playback chain, considering the higher end models don't have coils and sound is more crisp and resolution is better. But all in all, I was able to achieve a very good results. I will make a separate video to compare how it sounds with comparing to my best deck now, which you see below with Sony 555 ESA. What else? From the feature perspective, why I'm saying that it's more sophisticated deck. It has a very quick CPU. It operates both wells very well and quick. And it has an extended set of features which hidden under this panel. So if I will install a cassette here, it will be playing in the regular mode, or if I like, I can use some features, pitch control, and I can turn it on, and during playback I can increase speed or decrease speed, right, using this volume control. And what is interesting, this deck has a ridiculous range. It has plus minus 60% of the speed. So any tape recorded on any deck, you would always be able to correct the speed to the desired level. And it's pretty nice mode to have. What else? Also, I have a program mode when display changes the view, and we have a green view when we can select the order of the songs we like to be played on one side, change direction, and make it on the other side as well. And then if you will start, it will get to the beginning. So to start, we need to click this button. It will get to the beginning of the tape and start playing according to the program we entered. And check button will show us what exactly we are playing now. And display, we can switch and have this mode displayed permanently, and to see the program, how it is going on. Additionally, this deck has 2 wells which you can record at the same time. So there is a button A plus B rec, or we can do dubbing on high speed and normal speed. And the difference of this deck with others of the previous generation, that we can use this dubbing level and change the level to the desired. Specifically, for example, if we record from the metal tape and we need to record to the chrome or normal tape, we can reduce level a little bit to not overload the tape. More features. Considering this remote level control, we also have automatic level feature, which is this button or dedicated auto button on the remote here, which I can use, and I will a little bit later. What is the difference? So you see it's currently playing by the program the first song, right? To clear the program, I need to stop and click stop once again and to get out of this mode. We can program left well, and then use this auto pause mode, right? And when we will do dubbing from left to right, it will put right well into pause, while it will be rewinding to the next song on the left well. It's pretty convenient if you like to change program. Both wells plays nice. You see lots of features. It's pretty much like the Sony tapes. And I prepared two Sony tapes to demonstrate how it may record. Okay. And this deck has an automated calibration. We can calibrate each well, like clicking auto-cal button, select direction and click pause. And it will calibrate 3 parameters. It calibrates by bias, level and equalization, which is a big step from previous generation decks, which were calibrating only by 2 parameters. And I check its schematic, it's really sophisticated. It has like resistor matrices, it has like lots of other things to do that. Same we can do for the right well. Select direction, click pause, and it will calibrate. And calibration process is very quick. It takes just couple seconds. And as a 2-head deck, it just records first and then plays back to compare levels and select the best parameters. And you see it does very quick, so CPU is really good. Additionally, a nice feature of this deck is the phone level control. You see it's done with buttons, and here we see the value of the level. It's pretty convenient because if you use metal tapes and high-level recordings, it will be too loud and you can adjust levels to have it right there. What else? Now, this deck can record on the regular speed, high speed, and A+B rec. So just click button and you see both wells already for records. And next I will use an automatic level control button, and this will adjust to the song level. You see, I just click a button once, and here is the ARL level blinking on the display. It's still calculating the best level for these tapes, and it's right there. You see, it's found. Next, this deck has independent 2 decks in one, like it's fully independent one deck and other deck on electronic side. And as a result, it can select different bias for each well, and it can select different Dolby. For example, for left well, I can select Dolby C, and for right, Dolby S, and it still will work because everything is independent, everything is duplicated there. So it's just 2 pretty good decks in one, okay? And to start recording, I can just click pause on the right well, and both wells will start recording, and this will go like that. Automatic level will monitor the level through the all length of the tape, and if it will go over desired value, it will automatically adjust it. So for example, Evan can remotely control now, and this automatic sign will go away, and I will overload it a little bit, for example. So you see, I put a +4 decibel, and now I can click here, high level, +8. I click in automatic level now, and it should adjust it. You see, it's adjusting, it's reducing, but it will do it slowly to not ruin your recording. So you will not be able to hear it like a significant jump in the level. So it will do it slowly, slowly go down, and so on. Also, we have a fader button. When we click it, you see, it will automatically reduce levels down, but then it will get up. So I didn't, it puts both wells into pause. You see, it was done automatically. When it's reduced levels, it puts decks into pause, and that's how it will work. Okay, what else? It can play tapes with different Dolbys. It can record with different Dolbys. The only thing it doesn't have separate outputs from left and right well. And in this case, it would be like maybe playing professional deck roll. But I greatly recommend you to try the sound, to try upgrade it. As I told you, like 10 microfarads, this solves multiple problems of this deck. There are two different bipolar and polar caps I was replacing. It has like, I believe, for each channel, it has 3 bipolar capacitors on the sound pass. So it's 6 for left well and 6 for the right well, and about a dozen of regular polar capacitors for the left and right well. But when you replace it, the sound opens. It's really well. Comparing to this lower ESA, it just lost in resolution, but it's not lost in the overall openness. Bass is perfect balance in there. Try it. I highly recommend you to do it. Okay. What else? You see both wells and records. As we've seen, there was a little bit savings for the tape transport, so it's not a full match to the high-end models. It cannot keep the phase same well because carriage is not have ball bearings and don't have a spring to keep it always on the same position. There are a little savings from the difference, not savings, it's a difference on the stance. So it has a plastic stance to keep capstans versus metal stance on the higher models. But all in all, tape transport done is really well and still performs quietly, quickly, and very well. What else? Write me your questions. I would be able to tell you. You see way many features on this deck. So Dolby S, Dolby C, Dolby B, independently between channels, 2 decks in one, all possible features you can imagine. So I tell you, it's the most sophisticated deck. If you will find the same features in any other deck, please let me know. It would be pretty interesting to hear and see what those decks are capable of. I probably would make a video about the Sony 505 ESA. That's a deck I love. It's the best deck now in my collection, with the best sound and resolution, dynamics, and 3D scene. I can hear all instruments pretty well. I can hear how people breathe through the saxophone, clarinet, how all valves work in it, guitars playing very nice. It's the best deck I ever had. This Sony ESA is better than the Nakamichi Dragon from multiple perspectives, specifically on the sound. Even if technically it cannot match, for example, it just records to 20 kilohertz flat, comparing to Nakamichi's or Pioneers. Believe me, the sound you can get from it, it's not comparable with anything else. Alright, that would be it for today. I hope you enjoyed. So the last deck, the best deck from technical perspective, most sophisticated deck. It's not the best from the sound perspective, but definitely it's capable to play really well. Thank you, and see you in my next videos. Bye bye.